Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in Drangleic Castle, and in the last episode we fought the twin dragon riders, and also met with Nashandra, the Queen of Drangleic, who told us to continue to seek Vendrick. Now, we're not going to find Vendrick in this episode, he's still a ways off, but we are going to continue our exploration of Drangleic Castle. We have two paths we can follow. We can go upstairs, or we can go downstairs. And I'll tell you right now, upstairs is a dead end. And I'll also tell you that this is a loop, so when we go downstairs, we'll eventually end up over there. So I'm just gonna head downstairs. Haters gonna hate. Now down here, we'll also find some obstacles to progress. We've got this elevator shaft that is raised up, and we cannot lower it down without some other mechanism. And there's a locked door. So, all sorts of things that we're going to need to deal with. For now, we'll climb this ladder. Now, if you'll pay close attention, and I believe I pointed out elsewhere in the castle, someone in the castle really likes mirrors, because there are mirrors in the elevator shaft that really you'd only be able to see for like half a second as you were going by. Someone just really liked them. Weird. Now this is a drop-off. There we go. You'll see if we walk off here, we either need to complete the loop or boneward home in order to get back to the bonfire. And we've got a stone golem, and by now you should know what to do with these. Ordinarily, you'd wake up a statue enemy and then kill it in close proximity to the golem in order to activate it. But shock and awe, absolutely none of these statues are actually enemies. And this is a change from vanilla Dark Souls 2, where that was basically the solution. Here, they're all statues. We're going to need to bring in an enemy from another room. And we've kind of gotten a progression, also Ghost in the Wall. We've gotten a progression in difficulty for these golem puzzles. We started with accidentally activated them, then with kind of bringing enemies from elsewhere in the room. Now we need to bring in some enemies from this separate room, bring in these mannequins. So it's a nice way of keeping things interesting. And I mean, it's not a super... Oof, that could have gone better. I mean, it's not a super complex puzzle, but it increases in an interesting enough way to keep it fresh, I think. Anyway, activating the golem causes the elevator to descend. If you kill those enemies, well, better reload the area. Also, by the way, this is a very long elevator shaft. You remember, it was a long ladder to get up to the point that we are at now. And the top of the elevator still hasn't reached us. There it is. That's a long elevator. We're gonna ride it eventually. So once you've activated that, you could just boneward home and skip the rest of the loop if you wanted to, but where's the fun in that? Old Knight Hammer, you remember the old knights from Hade's Tower of Flame. Caitha's Chime and Soul Greatsword. I'll let you know the only really interesting item description is on Caitha's Chime. It's the sacred chime blessed by Caitha, goddess of tears. It's a hex-dedicated catalyst. It cannot be used to cast miracles. Caitha, the goddess of tears, is known as a compassionate being that is with us in times of tragedy. But some believe that she is a demoness that guides us toward misfortune. If that is the case, then it makes sense that her chime would only be usable with hexes. rather than miracles. Also, there's a summon sign here. It's Sellsword Luet. He helped us with the last giant and maybe other bosses as well. I'm not going to summon him now. I'm going to see if I can summon him for the boss. I looked at the wiki page for the boss, and Sellsword Luet wasn't listed as a possible summon, but I feel like I should be able to drag him over. We'll find out in the next episode. Anyway, you may have raised an eyebrow when these mannequins dropped from the ceiling, because you might be like, mannequins, weren't those the servants of Queen Mytha? The Poison Lady in Earthen Peak? Why would they be here in Drangleic Castle? Why would they abandon their queen? And that's a great question. Equally good question. Why is the two-headed demon horse from the Executioner's Chariot also here? I have no explanation for you. So this begins kind of a little greatest hits segment, I guess you could call it, where they start bringing in enemies and whatnot from previous areas in the game. And I could not really tell you the deeper lore significance of how these enemies got here. Also, this thing breathes dark. I don't know if it did that last time we ran into it. So overall, this isn't too tough of an encounter. I actually find the dark breathing the most difficult thing that it can do, because basically all of its other moves are charges and whatnot, and those can be pretty easily blocked by standing behind a pillar, Ornstein and Smo style. But the dark breathing, it kind of wraps around the pillars, and I don't know, it's a little funky. I've died to it far more times than I am happy to admit. Anywho, to add layers of mystery, why was this double-headed demon horse carrying Gower's Ring of Protection, which is the signature ring of an assassin who killed a half-dozen kings and several distinguished clergymen? It reduces damage taken from behind. For an assassin whose own life is always at stake, the greatest liability is one's exposed back. I can't imagine Gower rode into town on a two-headed demon horse. That's not very subtle for an assassin to do. Haven't the foggiest. And, you know, just let's add more. We've got the old knights from Hate's Tower of Flame. Why not? I mean, we've already had a weapon from one of them in a chest, so I guess it's a little less crazy. And I could see an alliance between Drangleic and Hades, bringing in some soldiers. Still doesn't explain the horse. Anyway, there are a total of 3 old knights. One on each of these balconies, and the one that we just took care of. I'm going to try to take care of this one pretty quick, because once you start engaging with one, the other will start walking over. Luckily, these guys are more fragile than the one in the middle. There we go. And on each of these balconies, there is a special prize. And here we got Firestorm, which is a pyromancy. I don't think it has anything interesting, but just in case. Pillars of Flame are up near the caster. Firestorm is said to be the wrath and ire of the spell's creator. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. And then here, over on the other side, we have what I will tell you right now is a mimic. And if those bloodstains didn't indicate that something was up, now you know. Going to equip my crossbow, and I'm actually going to fight this mimic from range, because it's killed me several times, and I really don't want to lose another recording. So I'm gonna keep my healthy distance and snipe it with my crossbow. Let's bring it on down, get some more real estate to work with. Oh, gunk shot, huh? This is one of the more absurd things I've done in this game. There we go. And for that, we get the washing pole and a petrified dragon bone. Now, the washing pole, I believe, is another katana-like weapon. Yeah? Yeah. It's a katana of unknown origin, crafted with a peculiar yet refined technique. An extremely long blade allows for strikes from great distances, but its construction makes it extremely fragile. So, long reach, doesn't last long. Probably decent for PvP if I had to guess, but I don't do PvP, so I'm not going to guess. Now then, let's head out into the open here. And we have almost completed our loop. If you like, you can go straight into that door, but I don't recommend doing that because you can see that there is, yes, an Elan Knight up there who will snipe you. So that's great. Oh, is it? Not that one. There we go. So why don't I snipe him in the head and try to get his attention. So yes, the Elan Knights are back and ready for more, to finish up that greatest hits thing that I mentioned. Also, you may notice there's a gargoyle statue there. It's a gargoyle. Don't mind me. I'm gonna be a lame-o and snipe the Elan Knights. Or the Elan Knight, singular. Also, it looks like its great arrows are a little too big, and they'll be blocked. Yeah, I'm playing it safe. I've already had to re-record this episode like 10 times. Sometimes to the horse breath, sometimes to the mimics. Once to the mannequins. That was embarrassing. And I just really don't want to face an Elan Knight when a gargoyle was up to no good. It's not a real gargoyle, is it? Oh, no, there it is. Okay, cool. I'm not crazy. So, luckily for us, there's only one. What a concept. Only fighting one gargoyle at a time. What game series is this? Because it's not the Soulsborne series. Now you do have a pretty small arena to work with, and you don't want to fall off. But see how much more manageable they are when there aren't 3 of them? There we go. All right. head on down through here, open up this door, and be extremely paranoid that the more enemies are... Yes, they're desert pyromancers. Ooh, doggy. Let's pull out our crossbow and get some cheap shots in at them. There we go. And I should be able to take care of the last one pretty easily. That's called hubris. Don't fall prey. Yeah, hubris, I told you. Don't fall prey to hubris. There we go. Alright, what do you got for me? Lots of flame butterflies and some repair powder. Some flammable barrels, I believe. Definitely a dangerous combination with the desert sorceresses. Ooh, and I just got 2 pieces of the desert sorceress set. That is, I believe, extremely lucky. Unless that's a scripted drop, which I don't think it is. Because the desert sorceress set is one of the sets that people find very fashionable. They really like it. What pieces did I get? Did I get pants? Skirt? No, I got the skirt, right? Yeah. So, for one thing, trying to get a good shot, you get heals. You get some pretty dope heals. And the hood, which I will just briefly demonstrate. You get a kind of veiled look there. Obviously, I'm gonna stick with the hunter's hat, but which do I want? This is much lighter. I could avoid putting points into my equip load if I swapped for the desert sorceress skirt. Yeah, let's go for it. Why the heck not? It'd be a shame not to make use of them. Nice. Then in this chest... Oh yeah, and then I misspoke, I guess. The Desert Sorceresses were the last hurrah of the Greatest Hits tour. In this chest, Estus Flask Shard. Nice. Now we can pull this lever. This'll raise a gate. And that gate is what was blocking entry into this doorway from the upstairs path from the bonfire. So as we climb down here, you will see that we are back where we started. But now the elevator has been lowered, and we are significantly more fashionable. Now, we will check out what the elevator has in store in the next episode, and probably take on the boss. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.